Here we are, this week in window cleaning, episode 2. This is Ed. He's from our residential sales department. How's it going, Ed?
Not so bad, Chris.
What do you do all day, Ed?
I sit here at my desk and I book jobs.
Only
take calls.
residential?
Only residential, yeah.
Now, out of the 3 people in the phone room, would you say by far you're the superior salesman?
I'd say so.
Ed
None
started.
of them are here right now, so it's okay.
It's all right to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you started here as a window cleaner. Did that make your job a lot easier?
10 times easier, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How many calls do you take a day?
Anywhere from 20 to 50, I'd say.
20 or 50 people that want residential estimates. What causes that fluctuation on one day you'll have 50 and one day you'll have 20?
Could be anything. Could be, could be the weather, could be holiday, could be the day of the week. People get out on a Friday or Monday. Mondays are huge. People call a lot on Mondays or towards the end of the week or like on a Saturday when they're home. Yeah. So
why do you think Monday is the biggest booking day of the week always?
it's because it's maybe they were at home all weekend and they realized they got really dirty, nasty windows. So they say, first thing we're gonna do Monday is call in and get an appointment. I don't know.
Yeah, my theory has always been, husband and wife sitting around on the weekend talking about it, got the flyer in the mail.
Exactly, yeah.
Wife starts making calls on Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say women call mostly about window cleaning? Do men call mostly about power washing, or is it mixed?
What? Who calls more about what?
Yeah. Well, what percentage of people, is it a male, how many percentage of females call versus males? If you just had a guess.
I'd say it's like 75-25. So like more women than men, definitely. Do have a lot of guys that call though, so I don't know. It could be different on a different day too. You never know. But I talk to mostly women, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Now, what really blows a lot of window cleaners' minds is that we, for the most part, estimate and book 99% of our jobs over the phone without ever going to look at them. How do we do that?
Well, just really, there's a very meticulous script that we have to read, basically. And once you get it down, it's pretty easy. You have to, you just basically, you can read it verbatim or just make sure you hit all the points on it. But as long as you know what kind of window they have, whether or not they have true divide, skylights, anything in any kind of piece. As long as you cover any kind of piece of glass that would be in their house, then you should be okay. You should be able to give an accurate estimate, which we do. So there you go.
So, all right, let's run through an example phone call briefly. We won't go into the crazy detail of it.
Sure.
Ring, ring, ring. Hey, this is Mr. Smith. I need my windows booked yesterday. What can you do for me?
Hi, Mr. Smith. We'll try as hard as we can to do that for you. First of all, I need a little bit of information from you. Have you ever used us before?
Okay, so when someone's used us before, it's incredibly easy to book the job because you look at their past job history and transfer it right over to the new schedule.
Absolutely.
Let's say I'm fresh and I've never used you guys before. What type of questions are you going to start asking me, and roughly how long does it take to get somebody churned off the phone on average?
10 to 15 minutes.
All right, we'll try to condense this into 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right.
What's the first thing you're going to ask me?
Sometimes they're quick, fast talkers,
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Well, first thing you want to, if you don't have any information on them, you can't give them any pricing information over the phone because they can be a competitor. So, you just ask them, okay, well, before I give you an accurate estimate, I'm going to have to get a little bit of information from you. You get your name, number, address, email, zip code, and you're pretty much set there. We have little sheets we fill out for them. And once that's done, I turn my little sheet sideways and there's a nice blank space at the bottom, and you start your spiel. You go, okay, do you have any skylights? He said, oh, yeah, I have so many. Then you say, okay, do you have any sliding glass doors? Great. Do you have any French doors? Oh, what's a French door? You explain it. And then you get to, okay, do you have any windows on the inside of your home that we're going to need to bring a ladder into your home to reach, maybe over 12 feet high? Sometimes you give them an example, and they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" You're like, "Oh, maybe over your front door," and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that thing," So you can help them along with it. Sometimes people have insane amount of palladiums, and then after that, you touch up on what types of window they may have. So you say, okay, when you open a window in your house, do you lift it up and down, or do you crank it out? And they say, okay, well, I lift it up and down. So I say, okay, that's what we call double hungs. Now, in your double hungs, are they separated? Is the glass separated by a grid or a pattern, that breaks the panes up into squares? They'll say, the majority of the time they say yes, but there's not. They'll say yes, but it's in between the glass, or yes, but they come off. It's important that you ask them if they do come off, and sometimes they'll be like, no, they're irremovable. You can't take them off. So that right there, So now you have a double hung window with true divide, and then you go from there. You ask them how many pieces are in each window. Are they 6 over 6? Are they 8 over 8? Blah blah blah. Keep going and going. After you touch on that, say they have casements. You say, okay, we have casements. Our company in particular, if there is 2 casements in one window, 2 casement windows in one frame, it's one window. So you have to explain that to them before you ask them to count up all their windows. You say, oh, if there's 4 in a row, then it's 2, 5, it's 2.5, and so on and so forth. After you touch up on that, you want to get to, what am I missing here?
That's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. So you and Mr. Smith, was that my name, determined that you have approximately 23 windows. What do you say to him at the end of the speech when he says, what's my price going to be?
Okay, if there are 23 regular windows, which is no storm windows. Oh, we forgot about the storms. Got to ask about storms. If they have no storms, no true divide, no extras, no skylights. It's 20 regular windows plus 3. And you say, okay, well, we have a great special going on right now. For 20 windows, you get, so right now it's $199. I think we just changed it to something else. We say, okay, $199 for your first 20, and then it's after that, you give them the price for the extras. You say, okay, so you can say it's $18 a pop after that, or you can say, what the total is. But yeah, just give it to them.
And the most important part is you tell them at the very end, this price is based upon what you told me that you have there. If for any reason we arrive on site and you have less windows than that, of course your price is going to be lower. But if we get there and there's more windows, it's going to fluctuate and potentially go up because we charge strictly on a per window basis. That's the most important part of the call.
Most important part of the call, definitely.
So you were just dealing with a difficult customer when I came in here. What was going on with that in 30 seconds?
Yeah, basically she is a service magic lead, which is it's a computer internet lead. They get a bunch of different companies sent to them for the service that they want, and she happened to have picked us because we had a great price. Turned out when I did the estimate with her, she had 4 skylights, and the rest of her windows added up to 29 plus her 4 skylights. She called up saying that I had never told her that, and she ended up taking the just the 20 window special, so she was not going to get all of her windows done. And she ended up thinking that the 4 skylights were included in the 20 window count, and said that I had never told her that they weren't. Which, if she had asked yesterday, I'll take the 20 window special, can I still get my skylights done? I would have said no, or no, those are extra, whatever. But she didn't think so. So we had a little bit of a situation.
Fortunately, we keep a pretty good paper trail of the conversation with the customer. We don't start just typing things in the computer. For the most part, it all goes on paper first. We save those to do a couple different things with, count, book jobs versus intake and calls that day. So we have the paper trail, and then it goes into the computer, so Ed can kind of backtrack and see that he was actually in the right. But it's 7 a.m., and we don't want to argue with her at this point and lose the job, so we ended up eating the $40, because if we didn't eat the $40, that crew would have been sitting around for 2 hours before they can get to their next job. At 7 a.m., it's difficult to call another customer and say, hey, do you want your windows done in 20 minutes? Because most people are still sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's the most difficult part of your job other than dealing with me?
Dealing with you. No, I'd say just making sure you cover all your steps, you know, so you don't get into situations like that, you know, making sure that every customer you talk to, when you get off the phone with them, you're, you know, 110% completely confident that they're going to have a great service the next day or whenever you booked them, and that you covered every basis with them and exactly what's going on and how, you know, how it's supposed to happen. When they, you know, when the guys show up, you know, they're not startled by anything that happens. They're not going to call you about anything. You don't want them to call you about one thing, nothing. So
time is money.
Exactly. Get off the phone quick is pretty hard too. Sometimes people just want to talk and talk and talk. So
I always would like to stay on the phone with people as much as possible, but during busy season when we're booking, you know, sometimes 100 jobs a day, it's simply not possible to spend 20 minutes with them every day. So I kind of like to think of it as like a waitress in a diner would. You just want to turn those people over and get them out so the next customer can come in, because the phone is absolutely just ringing off the hook.
You don't want to push them off. You don't want to push them off the
No,
phone.
no.
You just want to be, you know, quick and you know, just straight to the point with them. You know, and you crack a joke here and there, but you know, you don't want to be chatting away with them for 25 minutes. So
When I designed a system years ago to bid over the phone, I figured out the most important thing to do is just immediately take control of the conversation. Not that you don't want them to get a word in edgewise, but you want to take them through every step of the conversation. Have it very well planned out. Okay, do you have this? Great. Okay, good, got it. Move on to that, move on to that, move on to that. And finally, when you have all that numbers there, how soon can we get you on the schedule? We have an opening tomorrow. Don't even ask them if they want to do it. Just say, we have an opening tomorrow. We can put you on the presumptive close, and that works pretty well. Ed books about, on average, 85 to 87% of the calls that he takes, which is pretty damn good. I figure any higher than that, our prices are too low, and any lower than that, there's a problem with Ed. But you know, he always hits the numbers, so it's good. Closing thoughts, Ed? Anything that you could say to help a window cleaner out there that's looking to book their jobs over the phone?
Just stay positive, stay chipper over the phone. You know, your attitude and your you know, how you sound really makes a difference. If you sound like you know, you're just not feeling well that day, or you're not there really, you know, they're gonna know. So you have to really make sure you're involved with that customer and they feel like, you know, I mean, it's hard to say, it's just a voice, but you got to really feel, you know, like you're involved with them, you care about what they want. That's a big issue.
That's good. Drink a lot of caffeine too, that totally helps me.
Plenty of coffee, yeah.
Plenty of coffee. All right, Ed, thank you very much. Plug your band.
Pine Island's playing at night at Tuscan Cafe in Warwick, $6.
We may actually be there, the whole staff.
Oh, that's really cool.
See you tonight.
That's
Thanks.
really cool.
Bye.